Hey, I'm Danielle, and today I'm sharing what I've gotten paid in the different jobs that I've had since college. I'm sharing this because I find it super interesting to see, what kinds of jobs are really lucrative and what the normal pay is for different roles, and I feel like it's really important to just not make this stuff super taboo and just to really talk about it. And as I was writing this stuff down, it was definitely interesting to see what a squiggle my career has been over the last 5 years. I've held different full-time roles as well as done different gigs, and my pay has not been this steady up into the right kind of graph, and that's okay. It's been a little bit all over the place, and so it was cool to compare and really see what has been the best use of my time, consider the enjoyment in there, and just really think about it as a whole, comparing apples to apples. So I will dive right into sharing what I've gotten paid for different types of work from lowest to highest. A little over a year ago, I got a job as a hostess at a really popular restaurant in downtown, and I loved the culture there, and it was a really great experience, and the pay honestly wasn't bad for what it was. I got $12 an hour, and that was in addition to some small tips here or there. I think every couple of weeks I got like $40 tip check as well, and it really fluctuated, but that's what I got paid as a hostess. Next is actually what I get paid in my full-time job at a co-working space and entrepreneurial community. And when I first started, I was kind of like a community coordinator person, and that earned me $16 to $17 an hour. This is actually on salary, but I wanted to compare it evenly, so I broke it down by hour. And then I moved into more of the sales role, and that is more like $17 to $18 an hour. I definitely think this is challenging work just because there is a hospitality aspect to it, but it's really putting me in the right environment, in this entrepreneurial environment that I want to be in. The next step up was actually the corporate job that I had after college. I was considered a corporate communications consultant, which was really just meant that I wasn't salaried, but it was a really great learning experience, and that actually earned me $18.50 an hour. That really wasn't bad, and as I said, it was a really good learning experience and way to just understand what life in corporate communications was like and learn some of the most basic office skills. And another one of my current side gigs, I am a yoga teacher. So I work for what's considered like a corporate gym, and I really love it there, and it's actually $25 an hour, I think. But I have taught private classes before, and that was through relationships that I've had, and so I actually earn $50 an hour for those private classes. So that doesn't actually include the preparation part of things, like planning for classes. And so with gigs, you really want to consider, outside of the hourly pay, if that's how it's calculated, what do you actually need to do in order to get ready for that, and how long does that actually take you? The next one is PR consultant. So I did this, it was very short-lived, but and I was only working at this pay in this role for 2 to 3 hours a week, but I was basically helping people kind of with promotions, and this was not what I originally was offered to be paid, and I negotiated the heck out of that, which I was really proud of myself for because I don't do that often. And I think this is only pay that I specifically negotiated higher, to be completely honest, but I was really happy with the result of that. And as I mentioned, that was only a couple hours a week, and so you want to consider that. It could be really high pay, but only a small amount of time. Next up is work that I've definitely talked about in my videos before, and that is helping high school students get into college. I worked for a small program, and my official role was curriculum director and lead mentor. And I basically ran the show for a lot of this stuff, and I absolutely adored that work, and I actually got $50 an hour. Now, there was some fluctuation in the amount of classes that I had, amount of clients that I had, so it wasn't totally secure, but I thought that it was great pay for work that I loved and was super happy with it. And the reason the pay was higher for this was because I was working alongside the founder, so there wasn't that much overhead in terms of other employees. There were a couple of people here or there that were part-time, but it was also kind of like high ticket items, so there was a lot of money coming in. There wasn't much money being spent on running the business compared to other types of businesses, so I was able to get pretty good pay hourly when there was a lot that was within my wheelhouse of what I was managing on the team. But again, there was a little bit of uncertainty just because it was a startup and the number of clients in classes fluctuated. And last but definitely not least, or shall I say most, is a behavioral interview. So I actually do like a live version of a strengths interview, like a strengths assessment. And this is something that I started doing a little over a year ago, and I think it's so cool. I think the learning process has been just amazing and really thrilling for me, and as I mentioned, this is something that I get paid the most for, that I've never gotten paid this high, and I think when I do have calls when assessments come in, I'm just like I'm totally absorbed in it, and I really appreciate the paycheck as well. So there are little screener calls that I get paid $20 each for, and then the full hour-long calls, and then maybe like 10 minutes afterwards to wrap it up, that I actually get paid $110 for per call. So I'm really happy with that pay, and I love the work, and I want to continue to do that as a side gig. But you can actually also Google search and just say, what does this type of role usually get paid in this geographical area? And that's a good thing to keep in mind, just so you understand, what the pricing looks like, what the paycheck looks like for a certain type of work. Again, I think this stuff is so interesting, and I just love hearing from people about this financial side, since it's usually something that people just don't talk about. And we'll go ahead and wrap up there. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see some others, then hit subscribe or check out my channel, and you'll see all kinds of stuff about finding work you love and designing your career and personal development. That's all stuff I love to talk about. Thanks again for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!